we're at the Fleetwood factory. This is the REVkeys, and welcome back to another video. And here's Mike from Fleetwood. You might have recognized on some of his videos here. And we're going to do a tour today here at the Fleetwood factory.
Yeah.
Any words, Mike?
No, we can jump out there, and glad to have you here. Go through and check out the Frontier product and a couple of the other products along the way.
That's all. Let's do it. Okay, Mike, we're outside in the yard looking at these bare chassis. What's going on here?
So this is your XCR chassis. This is your raised rail chassis that all the Frontiers, Nauticas are going to be built on, and the new Frontier GTX will be built on this as well. This is exactly how it comes from us, from Gaffney, South Carolina, right here. So they were out in the chassis yard, as you can see. We've not done anything to it, but we'll go through and look at some of the components on here.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our Frontiers, we got the 6.7 liter right here, so it's gonna be 340. If we jump up into that GTX, we'll be at 360.
Also a different transmission, 3500, I think.
We'll have the 2500 series in the regular Frontier, and we'll jump up to the 3000 series in the GTX.
Okay, cool.
And then again, all of our diesels. Here's our standalone brake sync. Well, they call it brake sync. It's a standalone system. So that's actually going to be your tank. That's for that brake sync. The 13-gallon depth tank is right here. Again, all of our diesels have V-Ride. So that's what's going to give us that really nice, stable, sturdy ride.
Yeah, it's been great.
This here's a 2023 chassis. So right here is our modules for our TPMS, or built-in tire pressure monitoring system.
Okay.
So this rear one is set up for a tow vehicle. So if you wanted to put a tow vehicle on, so all you have to do is get the bands put in your trailer tires.
And there's all the bare stuff here. And I guess those pedals, actually, they stay in that same place, or they didn't move?
They will move them. And this bracketry, since it's a different color, we send all this stuff back to Freightliner.
And they
So
just recycle it.
correct. Yep. They'll put it on the next one.
And of course, there's your tanks, your air tanks.
Bing tanks. Lanyards popped out of both sides.
Both sides, yeah, right about there. We're looking at a straight rail chassis. Now, this one currently, I guess, is in the Pace Arrow?
Pace Arrow. We only use a straight rail chassis in a Pace Arrow.
Okay.
So a lot of the same components. Just main difference is obviously we have a straight rail here. When we were on that XCR chassis, it was a stacked rail. So it's raised up, gives you a little higher stance and more storage underneath, which is going to give you the full flat floor in a lot of our Frontier floor plans.
So basically the same engine, though.
Right. Well, this Pace Arrow can be a 340 or it can be a 300. In the 33D, we're going to do a 300 horsepower. Okay. In the 36U, it'll be a 340.
Is that something new, or is that something?
Nope, that's how we've been doing for a few years, yep.
Okay, awesome. And I guess those are the batteries. They'll be moved to
correct.
Whatever you call the bird cage or the bird cage.
Yeah, those are your starting batteries, and then we add our house batteries when we start assembling the house on top.
Awesome. So anyway, let's go on to the next chassis. Mike, what are we looking at now? What is this?
So this chassis here is our XCM chassis. It's a modular chassis. This is how it comes from Freightliner. When we get it, we'll remove these mending plates. The only reason these are here is for transportation purposes. So we'll literally remove these, we'll stretch it out manually, and we'll drop our bridge on top of it. We use this on our Discovery LXE and our Discovery lineup. And that's how we're going to get the two 7.5-inch I-beams that run the full length of this motorhome. But here's our umbilical cords, what we call it. So all of our lines come from Freightliner, wrapped in here. We don't cut any of our lines or nothing like that. These are built specific for the floor plan.
And those are just protected during transport, right?
Correct. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the mesh you have sometimes on the interior plumbing, I guess, for those slide-outs.
Yep. Raceways and stuff.
They do not inflate the airbags, that's for transport. So there's a lot of similarities, obviously. There's similar components, but obviously.
Yes, yep. Like the whole bell crank here is same. Ping tanks, airbags are all the same. Like again, we can't, if this is built for a 38-foot unit, we can't use it on a 44-foot unit. So it doesn't give us a lot of flexibility. Like, hey, we can buy one chassis and then use it on all floor plans.
Okay.
because even the shocks are custom tuned for the weight of that vehicle. So when we order a 38W, if we're building it, this chassis was a 38W. We're not going to put it on a 40M. We're not going to put it on a 44B. So still a lot of customization here in the chassis.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll go inside now, I guess.
Yeah. So we're at the beginning of the line. We just looked at the chassis. So now I come in here, and this is where we're going to mend that bridge, if it's an XCM chassis, with the chassis, and we start putting in our wiring harness and stuff like that. So very first step coming in the door, this one right here is that bridge chassis. You see the 7.5-inch I-beams that run all the way down it?
Oh yeah.
And those are all fixed with the huck bolts. If you see those right there.
This is a bigger chat.
Yeah.
XCM, right?
Yep, so this is your tag axle, so your Discovery LXC 44 footers.
And that's a steerable tag?
That is a steerable passive steer. Somebody always calls me out if I say steerable. It's passive steer, yes.
Oh, that one does about, what, 12 degrees?
That one turns at 12 degrees, correct. It'll give you a 17% reduction in your turn radius.
And that's only up to, what, 15 to 20 miles an hour, I think, at the most, or slower than that?
I think it locks out at 20 mile an hour,
okay.
So where it becomes fixed. We got our wedge tanks that's exclusive to Fleetwood Holiday Rambler. All of our slide out controls are mounted into our floor, which gives us that nice clean look. Mm-hmm. Still great. These are power gear. Great system. You can run them in manually with I believe it's 3/4 inch wrench. Just put it on there, flip your brake. Interlocking extrusions. Only one other manufacturer that's using interlocking extrusions other than us. So it's a pretty important aspect of your build process. Aquahot 400D. So all the lines you see up above here, the clear ones are going to be for your Aquahot, and then you'll see blue and red ones, like on the one behind you. Obviously, that's just going to your plumbing, but all the clear ones are for your Aquahot.
Does this have radiant floor heat on this model?
See what model this actually is. Yes, this is obviously a 44 footer, so it will have standard. Will have electric heat mats in it under the tile up front, and then it'll be optional in the rear.
Now here they've actually remounted the steering control. Looks like. Oh, this is a different stage here, right?
Yeah. Yep. So now we moved up one cell, and now we're starting to put our floor onto it. But one thing to notice about the floor is there's no OSB in any of our build. It's all marine grade plywood. A lot of the others that you look at, there's a lot of OSB into it. So we try to eliminate that because plywood is a lot stronger than OSB.
And OSB tends to absorb water more easily.
Absolutely. And I just found out a lot of tile manufacturers won't even warranty their tile if it's assembled over top of OSB.
Oh,
so it's kind of a neat little fact. And then underneath our floors, everything is sheet steel. So there's none of that Darko. You don't have to worry about anything ripping. That's going to give you the best moisture protection and best durability that's going to protect your purchase. So all metal ramps. Again, a lot of others will use wood right there on your slide outs.
I like the seat up there.
That is new for 2023. Cafeteria chair comes with them.
That's an option, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's an upgrade.
It's not even bolted to the chassis yet. All right.
Coming up to the next area. Now this is where we're going to put our flooring in. We just assembled the floor, the structure of it, and now we have a tarquette floor being assembled over here, and we have a tile floor right beside us. So you can kind of see both of them right here. It's kind of neat on this tile if you watch them assemble it. Most of this tile is pre-cut before we even put it in.
Wow, that's
so yeah, it's kind of like a puzzle, but it really speaks to the the tight tolerances of these motorhomes when you're able to pre-cut your tile before you even put it on your floor.
That's I imagine that saves a boatload of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it can be very time consuming to cut tile on a residential application.
Absolutely. Over here is our tarquette. This is a 34 GT right here, but on the tarquette flooring, it's all interlocking all the way around all four corners. No wood, you don't have to worry about it swelling and your seam separating. I know some of the other ones out there, even in their diesels, are using stick-on tiles.
Does this actually float? Or is this...
There's a glue down on them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one's obviously hanging off the side, but yeah, these guys are glued down as well. Coming up to the next. Now they have the slide mechanisms for the bed slide. All
That's
the bed slides
slide.
are usually mounted up top, you know. Continuing the wiring harnesses.
And another optional chair.
Yeah, it seems to be a popular one, doesn't it?
I know, right?
All of our tile showers are they're ordered in.
Okay.
And then we install them. It is residential tiles.
Put it in there.
Yep, it's all real tile. And then in this area, we have to get all those big cabinets put in. Everything gets put in before the walls go on. And everywhere where any of our walls, any of our cabinets meet up with the surface, whether it be the floor or the walls, it's all bolted in. So you're not gonna have the floating walls.
Any idea what coach this is?
I'd have to look at a couple clues, see what we have here. It's got suspended pedals. I bet you this is going to be a Discovery LXC.
Well, it looks like it has that door going to the back, right there between the cabinets. In this area right here, has that side door that that's 38 SQ or there's some walls. Is this where the walls are put on, Mike?
Yeah, walls have just dropped into place.
And this is a tag. So it must be a Discovery or
Discovery LXC or Armada, correct.
Down by the door. Another part further along the line, they've got the cabinetry inside, right?
Yeah, a little bit more of the cabinetry being installed. There's a lot of stuff that goes inside, so this actual step goes into multiple cells here.
And this is going to be a Fleetwood Frontier 34 GT.
34 GT, correct.
Let's see. Future will pass through. Storage door here. Awesome.
Now we have the walls in, we have all the big cabinets in. Now it's time for ceiling set. So here is 2 ceilings. We try to get everything put on top and all the puck lights, AC registers, everything put in while it's still low. Just ergonomically, it's easier that way.
More efficient.
But yep, this one has a 300 watt solar panel up top here. That's the upgraded. Standard on most units is going to be your 100.
Now, this is a question are you still using a Chiboni system, or does it
Yes.
usually depend on the supplier?
No, it's Chiboni, and yeah, it says it right there as well. These are again the ceiling set, but here on the bottom we have a molded fiberglass roof. Same construction underneath, just different toppings basically.
Here's some taps here to install. And here's more of the shop around here. There's an Armada being built over there. You said it was a 40.
Yeah, it's an Armada 40. Yeah.
This section, one of the last section of this is where they put the slide outs in. This is on the diesel line. This is the Armada right here. And this looks like a bounder. Oh, that would be a bounder.
It's gonna be a base arrow up there.
Base arrow. Now, where do we go from here? This is like the end of the line.
Yeah, so where we have the shell all buttoned up, that's our slide out line.
Right.
It comes right down, they marry up right together here. We put the slide outs are pretty much complete whenever we put them in. If it's a galley, we try to have the galley all complete, put inside. Hook them up to the cranes, slide them into the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And then after everything's buttoned up, the only thing they'll do is make this horseshoe, and they'll do interior features.
Now, how long does it typically take from start to finish, from when you get the bare chassis to when you do the paint? How long does that usually take?
Well, see, that process moves pretty quick. It probably takes us 5.5 to 6 weeks on a normal time to build a unit, and probably 2 weeks is over here, 2.5 weeks is over into paint. So
Okay.
dang near half the time is in paint. So it's kind of weird when you think about it. You build this whole motorhome and half the time it takes to build or paint the coach.
All right. So this again.
Now we are in our mill. So right over here they cut all the pine for our cabinets. We build all of our cabinets other than the face frames. We buy our face frames, we buy our doors, but we assemble the whole cabinet in jigs right over here on this side. It's a little dark in there. We're shut down this week, but up front here we have all of our CNC routers and panel saws right to our left.
We're inside the paint area inside the Fleetwood factory. Mike's going to turn some lights on for us. Where we are now.
So now we made it over to the paint facility. This is the beginning of the line. So we just left the main facility. They come over there, come in the back door, sand all the coaches down, and we got to tape up everything that we don't want paint to get into.
Right,
I don't know if you've ever sandblasted Ben, but paint is the same way. It gets everywhere.
I have sandblasted. I have a very colorful career. Before I was in IT, I was in mechanics and bodywork.
Oh. Yeah, so backside, even all the wheels, the holes in the wheels, we got to tape them up. There's a lot of work goes into prepping these. All the backside of the doors, every opening.
Wow.
And just when you think you got it all covered, there's always that one spot you forget. Then after we get this, we gotta do the same thing on the ceiling or on the roof. So we get all that prepped up, and then we will go into our first base. We've kind of restructured our paint facility to be more efficient. So now we're running 2 lines going down. We have a gas line and a diesel line. So obviously we see gases over here. We have our first booth over there, and the whole sanding bodywork area is now segregated from the rest of the facility. So once it goes into paint, it will never be exposed to the dirt and debris from the rest of the building.
Just the next stage is after they do the initial paint, this is where they do additional paint?
Yeah, well, currently it's set up a little weird because we're down this week. So they take a lot of units from the outside and they brought in here to store them for the week.
Keep them protected.
So, yeah, correct. So typically these would not be here. This would be an open area, and we'll go all the way down. And we paint these coaches 4 colors. Most of our coaches have 4 exterior colors. So we have 4 base booths. So we'll go through each one. We'll paint it. We'll bake it. We'll tape off what we just painted, and we'll continue that process until it's complete. And then we have our PDI and shipping lane at the end, and then the coach is ideally going to our customers at that point.
Right, right. And at this point, they were mostly, I mean, we don't really sell direct. You always go through the dealer line, so it's always targeted for a specific dealer.
Correct.
And driven there, or are they usually just always driven by a driver, or usually do you ever go on rail or anything like that?
No, we have 2 drive services here in town. They're both located probably 3 minutes from our building, and depending on which dealer, they go to different locations, but they're all driven, every one of them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this tour, Mike.
Right. No problem.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate you choosing us to help build your dreams.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as we gaze on this way, just remember to open the doors to adventure and start all your journeys with the REVkeys. Have a great day.